About a month ago, I reviewed the Fender Debut Stratocaster that was the HSS format. Well, today we're going to take a look at the Fender Squire Debut Telecaster. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, that's what we're looking at today from Amazon. Now, I think Amazon is the only place that you can get the Debut Squires, and when I bought this one, it was only $119. That's one of the reasons why I was like, oh, I snatched up both the Strat and this has just been sitting around here waiting to be reviewed, but $119, a great deal. Well, since then, that was, I guess, April 7th is when I purchased this one. It's gone up to $147, which, I mean, it's not a whole lot more than $119, but once you get into that $146, you start getting into the territory of, should I get a Firefly, or should I just spend a little bit more money and get the Made in Mexico Telecaster or something like that? But there are definitely some differences between this and a Made in Mexico Telecaster. I've got one. My friend's got that one right now, but I can tell you that the neck is much different. The neck on that one is a really thick baseball bat style neck. This is a modern C shape, and it's really comfortable to play. The only thing is, when I did the review on the Strat, I noted how just nice and glassy those stainless steel frets were. I mean, they were just polished. These are not. I'm going to show you when we do the demo on this, but they're pretty scratchy. It's not, it's not a deal breaker. It's the kind of thing you could actually buy some fret erasers and put some elbow grease into it and do that. Or if you've got a Dremel, you could polish them, or just take it to a luthier. They probably polish them for 40 bucks or so, but now you just added more money to the cost of it. Now, this is an interesting one. Let me show you this right now. First of all, first thing you'll notice if you know Telecasters, normally they've got the holes back here, and that's where you thread your strings in. This does not have that. You can see right here that they're actually right there on the bottom of the bridge. There you go. You can see that a little bit better, but yeah, so they just go in through the bridge. I have never seen that on a Telecaster bridge before, and I was like, okay. I actually was kind of hoping that this was like basic Telecaster specs, because I was thinking maybe I'll put a Vega trim on here because I've been wanting to try a Telecaster with a Vega trim. That's not going to happen on this one. You can't do that because the Vega trim uses those eyelets, the holes that are back there. Two single coil pickups like you'd expect on a Telecaster. Check out the neck here. I really like the heel on this neck. It's actually very, very nice. And the tuners, they're nothing remarkable. These are just little stickers that are in there to protect them from getting scratched. But it does have a rosewood, well, I don't know. Let me look at the listing real quick, but this looks like a rosewood fretboard that's on here. So it says Fender Squire Debut Series, Telecaster electric guitar, beginner guitar, 2-year warranty, includes free lessons, Dakota red with satin urethane finish. And yeah, that's one thing I really like about this. I like matte finishes on guitars lately, and it looks good. Dakota red, it's like a blood red. It's really, really deep. Like I said, it is $146.99, and they've got different colors. They have seafoam green, Dakota red, black, and a 2-color sunburst. Now, they do point out that this is made for beginners, and I would say as a beginner, this plays really, really nicely, actually. But I will tell you this, Landon Bailey did a video where he took off the pickguard on one of these. I watch his channel, and the routing that was underneath this thing was pretty ugly. But then again, you got a pickguard on there. It is made in China. That's one of the ways that they keep the cost down on this, is probably why it went up from 119 to 146 tariffs and whatever else. But the body of this is made from poplar, and I'm just looking through the listing here. I don't see anything that says what the fretboard is made of, but it's definitely a nice rosewood looking fretboard on here, and it's even got some nice figuring to it, some nice color in there. Of course, you've got that Start Now QR code on there, and you can use that to get free lessons and stuff. So yeah, beginner-wise, would be pretty great. Well, let me go ahead and show you how it sounds. Okay, so I've got it plugged into the Fender Tone Master Pro, appropriate since this is a Fender product. I'll show you a little bit of clean, a little bit of distorted, and we'll go through the settings on the position switch here. Overall, aside from the fact that these frets are scratchy, which I don't know if you can hear this. Let me do this. I'm gonna grab this other microphone here. That's not good. I don't know, maybe I should say that's not great, because how many guitars have I played in my past that had them and I just really didn't pay attention to that? I was like, oh yeah. But once you get a guitar that has those frets perfectly polished, you're like, oh dude, because they just glide on there. And it makes it easier to do your bends and everything else. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider when it comes to your frets. All right, so I've got it all the way back on this position right here. Got the volume all the way up and the tone all the way up. That's pretty much the way I go. I almost don't even need a volume and tone control. Maybe the volume, but tone, I don't know. But let's do this. let's move it to this position here. Sounds pretty good. Now let's go to this one. So now we're just using that pickup right there. So the back position right here, going to be that. Middle, it's going to be both. And that's going to be that. You can't beat the simplicity of that. Yeah, I mean, it's got a good sound to it. Oh, liking it. All right, well, let's go ahead and change this over, and we will do some distorted stuff. Yeah, it's those scratchy frets. Sometimes I just go, ah. All right, let's take it back here. And we'll just show you the tone control here real quick. Let's do this. I don't know, often when I get a telly, I want to do something like, you know, some Tom Morello. Hey, I think it's working just fine. You know, there are a few little things, those frets being scratchy. When I first got it, there was, I don't know what was going on. It was doing a lot of squealing and I was like, uh-oh, well, that's not great. But as soon as I started messing with the volume knob, maybe there was some dust in there or something like that. But either way, it's not doing that squealing anymore. There is a lot that I like about this, including this neck. I mean, it's got a really nice neck on it. My Made in Mexico Telecaster has a baseball bat for a neck, which I guess, you know, some people love that and it might be what you want, but I like this thinner neck profile on here. I think it'd be a really good guitar for a beginner. Got to polish those frets though. So yeah, you know, I'm not hating it and it doesn't say debut on the headstock or anything like that. So if you're like, hey, I wanted to get a nice guitar, a Squier can be 250 bucks, that kind of thing. I think I bought my Made in Mexico when it was on sale. It was a baby blue one. Used to be hanging up back here, but like I said, a friend borrowed it, but I think I paid only like $250 for that. So, I mean, you know, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get more guitar. But this is pretty darn good. It was really good for $119, pretty darn good for $146.99. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the neck on this. I think it plays really well. It's easy to play, a whole lot easier to play than my first guitar. Now, my first guitar was a SG copy that I think they bought it at a record store. Yeah, it was a record store / head shop, and they had a couple guitars hanging up there, and I was like, dude, Angus Young plays that, I want that. I thought I wanted it until I got home and it was like the strings were, you know, that far off the fretboard and I was like, ah. So it is important to get the beginner something that is easier to play, and I think this would fit the bill. So that is the Fender Debut Series Telecaster in Dakota Red, and I want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Likes, comments, subscriptions are like the lifeblood of a YouTube channel, so if you're so inclined, would you please help me out and like this video, give it a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hey, it's pretty easy. And if you really want to go hard with supporting the channel, I do have a thanks button down below this video. It's not inexpensive to run these channels, so a couple bucks here and there, everything counts. Every penny counts, and I do appreciate you. But more so, I appreciate you being here watching this video. I just want to thank you so much. It's very humbling to me. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.